cookers. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a twist on bolognese. So it's going to be a gnocchi bolognese, which is going to be really nice. So, okay, let's get to it. Okay, so you need 250 grams of mince. I got excited with the mushrooms, so it's about 8 mushrooms chopped up. You've got, in here you've got a tablespoon and a half of dried oregano and a teaspoon of dried basil. Okay, we've got 2 shallots, but I can only get diddy shallots, so that's what we've got. 1 leek chopped, about 5 grams of basil and 5 grams of parsley. We've got about a tablespoon of garlic puree, and this is a packet mix. So of a sauce. You can buy these in the aisles at Tesco's, wherever you shop. They're really good to have. Normally I have a bolognese one. This is a paella one. But you can put whatever one you like, as long as it's got that sort of flavour from that Mediterranean area, you'll be doing just fine. Okay, oh, and some stock. 200 grams of meals. And these are, they're like tomato puree basically, but they're Italian. They're a little bit more thicker. I get this from Morrison's and Tesco's, but it's up to you whether you want to use that or not. You could use tomato puree if you wanted to. It's 70 grams a pop, which I find is very simple and easy. And then a little bit of tomato passata, whatever you want to get. It's 100 grams of it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start putting this on. Okay, so I've got my water on the boil. Gnocchi really doesn't take very long to cook, so it's just basically we're just getting this bit. Now your meat's going to be fine out for the moment. You can leave meat out for 20 minutes at the most, and then you need to start putting it back into the fridge. So we'll leave them out for the moment. I'm going to bring that and our onion. Put these over here. And our mushrooms are going to bring over as well. So put them back for the moment. I like bolognese. Bolognese is one of my favourite things to cook. It's so easy. If you want to cook it on a low heat, you can put it in the slow cooker, put it on for 6 hours and you're done. But generally if I'm doing that, I do a big batch of it. So just triple it up. So it's normally about a 500 gram pack, and then all of this put in, but triple really. But normally it's one leek and about three shallots in it. But at the moment we're doing this one, but it's always nice to have it in the slow cooker, especially when lots of people are coming round, because then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we're going to put our onions in. And our leeks. I nearly said shallots again then. Okay, so these are all going to be fried off. I quite like having the paste for the garlic. It really is nice, and you don't have to bother chopping all the time. Just happened that I had some left. But you can buy it in where all the fresh herbs are, where the basil and everything is. They normally come in like a little tube about that big, and I don't know where else, but in Tesco's it says garlic on it, or it says ginger on it. So just look out for it. Okay, so I'm going to bring the heat down just a little bit on our gnocchi water just for the moment. So season. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab a teaspoon so that I can get my garlic out in a second. Put that in there, the mushrooms. Now you can size your mushrooms however you like. If you want them a little bit more thinner or you want them more cubey, do whatever you want. You know, it's what's nice about this sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to add in our dried herbs. There we go. Okay, so we're going to pop in our garlic paste. I'm just going to take a really quick break just while this is quickly frying off, just so you're not getting too bored with me watching frying, and then we'll be back in a sec. See you in a bit. Okay, so our mushrooms are nicely done, so we're going to start popping in our meat. Now, I like breaking my meat up a little bit. You can shove it in if you want and then break it up as it goes, but I find it easier this way. I never used to, when I was younger, I never used to like touching meat like this anyway. But as you get older, you kind of get used to things, I guess. I was talking to my mum about stuff when I first started cooking. And we're talking about when she went off one day and she said, oh, could you make a stroganoff for me and my friends? And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. She's like, you know how to make it? I was like, yeah, I know how to make it. And she was like, don't forget to put the flour in so to thicken up the sauce. So I was like, okay then, because then obviously flour thickens up everything. And she came back, and honestly, you could have picked up the pan and just literally put it on the dish and it would have held its shape. It had so much flour in it. And I said, you know, from how much I've come now to where I was then. And they used to come to our house when we had our first place, when we were first married. And I used to make the roast potatoes, but they used to be about that big. They were so tiny. And my parents used to go crazy because it wasn't really roast potatoes. It was more small, diddy palmier potatoes, but not palmier potatoes. Okay, so there we go. So let's pop that in. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on. Okay, now just to show you what our thing looks like. So you could use some chopped tomatoes if you wanted as well. But like I said, it's like a bit of a passata almost. And this is what it kind of looks like when I've opened up the tin. So it is kind of like a puree, but it's a more concentrated puree. So it tastes a little bit better. Start frying that up. So we want some pepper. I didn't realise how low I was on pepper actually until I started doing the video. We want our nice little sauce mix. Put that in. Get it in now because it gives that lovely little bit of flavour. And you always get a little bit off the mince anyway. The mince I use, it is a 5% fat mince. You can go to the butcher's side and get it off the fresh if you want, or you can get it literally in the packs. But normally I'll make a bit more. I'll make like a 500 gram. I like the little packet sauces as well because they give that flavour as well. They've got like everything in there. They've got all dried herbs and everything in it. So you don't have to have a whole cupboard full of spices either, even though I do, but you don't have to. Put a little bit of our stock in. A bit of our tin. Mix that in. I mean, you don't have to use all of the stock if you don't want to. If you want it more of a thicker sauce, you don't have to add all the stock in. You can add a little bit in. If you feel like it's enough. That's the thing with cooking. It's all on intuition. It's all on how you think it's going. The good thing about having like the packet sauce in there as well is that you don't have to add flour. It thickens. So it's quite a good idea. So I'm going to bring these over. Put that in. It's a good way as well if you've got kids. You could even, before you put the mince in, do all of this and then blitz it up. You don't even know there's veg in there. But obviously not the mince. But you could do it if you're weaning, I guess. You could do it. But obviously be careful of the packet sauce because of the salt contents and of the stock. It can be a bit salty for obviously babies and kids. So you can get, I think you can get ones that haven't got sugar in them, salt in them, or they've got a low salt in it. So you could always use that as well. But okay, so mix this all in. I want our parsley and our basil. This is why I'm adding just a little bit at a time, just so that I can see where it's going with the sauce. Okay, so I did have some scissors. Right, found the scissors. Okay, so put that on a lower heat, just for a moment. Actually, the 200 did it, to be honest. And it's still very thick. It's not a thin sauce either. But I do like it when you get to the bottom because you get all the bit at the bottom of it. Okay, so cut your gnocchi open and add some salt to the water. Now be careful when you put the gnocchi in because obviously the water's hot. Okay, so what I tend to do at this point is I tend to swap it over. So these take 3 to 4 minutes. So I pop them there. We're going to come back in a second Alright, it's in a bit. Okay, so our gnocchi's doing, as you can see, it's all risen to the top, and that's what we wanted. So what we're going to do is come over and we're just going to drain this off. Drain that off. Just had to go a bit hotter again. It doesn't matter too much if they're in there and they're drying a little bit, because they're kind of like a potato-y texture, so they're dry a bit and they're fluff a little tiny bit. So let's get that. Oh, it looks lovely. Okay, so I've got some Parmigiano cheese, so Parmesan. This is for sprinkling over. So put your gnocchi in. Now the gnocchi, you'll find with the pasta, the dry pasta, you'll find it there. Sometimes it is in the fresh aisle, but generally you don't find it a lot in the fresh aisle, to be honest. I don't know why, because it's quite a nice little thing to have, and it's quite popular as well, but they just don't seem to give it as much as they do the other pastas. Okay, so bring the bowls over. Try and get it even if you can. They like to hide. It's like, find the gnocchi. Like there. Oops. Put that there. A little bit more onto that one. Okay, there you go, my croquettes. There is your Bolognese. So just grab that. I like to make sure how much I'm at. I will put more on, but my sides are clean. Right, there we go, my dears, my croquettes. Well, thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. So please like, please share, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.